I nearly died because of my friends. March 16th, 2026. 2 days ago, I learned that sometimes the people you trust the most can become the biggest threat to your life. I'm 17 years old, and until that night, I would have called these two people my best friends. One of them I'd known since primary school, the other since secondary school. I trusted them completely. That's why I never saw it coming. It started with a message. They asked if I wanted to hang out. Nothing unusual. We'd done it countless times before. There was this abandoned pub we'd occasionally visit. We'd explore it, mess around, take photos, and then usually head somewhere else. At first, I told them I wasn't interested. I wasn't in the mood. But they kept pushing, text after text. Eventually, I gave in. That decision almost got me killed. We met up that afternoon and headed to the abandoned pub. Everything felt normal. We wandered around the old building, joked around, and killed some time before heading to a real pub nearby. We played pool for a while, laughed, talked, and acted like nothing was wrong. Looking back now, that's the part that terrifies me the most. They acted completely normal. No signs, no warnings, no indication of what was about to happen. Later that night, we returned to the abandoned building. By then, it was dark outside. The place felt different at night. The broken windows looked like black eyes staring into the darkness. Every creak echoed through the empty halls. Every shadow felt deeper. We wandered through the rooms until one of them suddenly said, "Mind if we take some pictures?" I shrugged. "Sure." That was the moment everything changed. Before I could react, one of them grabbed my phone and shoved it into his pocket. I laughed at first. I thought they were messing around. Then they shoved me into one of the rooms, hard. The door slammed. I rushed toward it. One of them was standing outside, recording on his phone. The other blocked my path. At first, it felt like roughhousing. Then he grabbed my throat. Everything happened fast after that. He pushed me backwards, tried to throw me to the ground, punched me, wrapped his hands around my neck. Suddenly, this wasn't a joke anymore. This wasn't teasing. This wasn't friends messing around. This was an attack. I fought back as hard as I could, but eventually they forced me into the room and locked the door. I heard the lock click. Then silence. I was trapped. The room was pitch black. 4 walls, an old boarded-up window, a door with no handle on the inside, no way out. I started screaming, yelling their names, demanding they let me out. Nothing. Then I heard one of them laugh and another voice say, "Yeah, he's not getting out of that." The realization hit me like a punch. They meant it. Whatever this was, it wasn't a prank. I was completely alone, and nobody knew where I was. I tried forcing the door open. Nothing. I tried tearing boards off the window. Nothing. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. That's when I noticed something on the floor. A long wooden plank. I picked it up and started smashing it against the door. The wood splintered. The door didn't. Then one of them called through the wall, "If you give us your phone password, we'll let you out." Looking back, it was stupid, but panic makes you do stupid things. I gave them the password. The door never opened. I realized then they had lied. Again. I kept searching the room. The ceiling wasn't fully enclosed. There were gaps leading into neighboring rooms. Maybe there was a way out. I tried climbing. The wooden plank kept sliding. Then I found an old radiator fixed to the wall. Using both, I pulled myself upward. As I climbed, short metal sliced into my hands. I felt warm liquid running down my fingers. Blood. Lots of it. But I couldn't stop. I was terrified that if I stayed trapped in that room much longer, something worse would happen. Finally, after multiple attempts, I managed to pull myself over. I crashed into the room next door. For the first time in what felt like hours, I was free, but I still wasn't outside, and I still didn't have my phone. I remembered something from a previous visit. One of my friends had once smashed out a boarded-up window leading onto the roof. If I could find that room, I could escape. So I stumbled through the darkness until I found it. The broken window was still there. Beyond it was the roof. I climbed through. Rain had fallen earlier. Everything was slippery, dangerously slippery. I carefully moved across the roof until I reached a gap. Beyond it was another platform and a route down. I tried edging across. My foot slipped. Instinct took over. I jumped. For a moment, I thought I'd made it. Then I lost my footing. The world tilted, and I fell. I remember the impact, the air leaving my lungs, the pain. Then, silence. I was lying on the ground outside, but I was alive, somehow. I staggered to my feet. Blood covered my hands. My clothes were filthy. My glasses were smeared with dirt. And there they were, standing near the street shops as if nothing had happened. I demanded my phone back. They refused. People nearby started noticing us. One woman stared at the blood dripping from my hands. Another pointed at the trail of blood behind me. Someone asked if I'd been stabbed. The friend who assaulted me immediately started acting innocent. He kept saying, "We're friends. I don't know where his phone is." Then he disappeared. The other one left too, just walked away, leaving me there. Members of the public rushed over. They handed me blue paper towels, called an ambulance, called the police, and for the first time that night, I realized something. I wasn't the one in trouble. I was the victim. The police listened to everything. The ambulance treated my injuries, and I was taken to hospital. Doctors glued the worst cut shut. The rest looked like I'd grabbed handfuls of broken glass. The police arrested the friend who assaulted me, in handcuffs. When they asked if I wanted to press charges, I didn't hesitate. Yes, absolutely yes, because friends don't do that. Friends don't lock you in abandoned buildings. Friends don't steal from you. Friends don't try to strangle you. And friends don't leave you bleeding in the dark. A few days later, things somehow became even stranger. My stepsister contacted the second friend, the one who was recording. He admitted he had my phone, then demanded money to return it, £250. His excuse was that I had damaged his phone months ago, but he conveniently left out the reason. The reason I slapped it away was because he was recording me during another confrontation, another situation where things had turned aggressive. Eventually, my sister managed to get my phone back, but she had to pay him £100. When I got the device, everything had been wiped. Photos, messages, memories, gone, like they were trying to erase what happened. But they couldn't erase the police report. They couldn't erase the injuries, and they couldn't erase what they did. Now I'm home, recovering, waiting for updates from the investigation. The cuts are healing, the bruises are fading, but one thing keeps replaying in my head. Not the fall, not the blood, not even being trapped. It's the moment I heard one of them say, "Yeah, he's not getting out of that." Because that's when I realized the terrifying truth. The people I thought were my friends had already decided exactly what was going to happen to me. And if I hadn't found a way out of that room, I don't know if I'd be here telling this story today.